Ladies and gentlemen, to the honorable judges and my beloved friends, I am standing in front of you all, a remnant of quote by the great Marcus Garvey. A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and cultures is like a tree without roots. Today, we gather to discuss a bridge built not of steel or stone, but of words, imaginations, and shared understanding. Let me ask you one question. What if one day our cultures disappears and no one remembers it? Okay, let's talk about it in 7 minutes with me. I'm Bunga Clarissa Alavnisa, but a lot of people call me as Bunga. I'm from Budi Utama Senior High School. Let's discuss it. What makes a nation truly alive? Is it the buildings? Is it the technology? Or is it the stories we carry? A story told through dances, languages, and traditions. Today, Indonesia has more than 4,900 cultural heritage sites. That means thousands of stories waiting to be heard. But no stories are remembered. Some are fading, some are disappearing. In 2025, more than 150 heritage sites were restored by the government. This is a good step forward. But at the same time, traditional villages are being lost. Forests are disappearing and cultural identity is slowly fading. So, the question is, what can we do? This is where English becomes powerful. English is not just a subject in school, it's a bridge to the world. With English, we can share our culture with global audiences, promote our traditions, and make Indonesia known around the world. Because culture that is not shared will be forgotten. But when we communicate it, we make it alive again. Imagine a young student creating content about traditional culture in English. Imagine local stories reaching people across the world. Imagine us becoming a voice of our own culture. That future starts with us. Culture does not disappear because it's weak. It disappears because people stop talking about it. So we must speak, we must create, we must communicate. Because when we explore cultural heritage through English, creativity, and communications, we are not just learning a language. We are giving our culture a voice, and culture with a voice will never disappear. We are protecting our heritage. And Indonesia is not just a country. It is a collection of stories passed from the generations to generations. Deforestation is increasing. Cultural communities are at risk. And many young people are starting to forget their own traditions. This is dangerous. Because when young people forget their culture, the future of that culture becomes uncertain. So, what's the solutions? The answer is communications. And one of the most powerful tools we have is English. English is a global language. It allows to connect with people from different countries. Through English, we can introduce Indonesian culture to the world, share our wisdom, and promote our traditions internationally. Culture that is not shared will be forgotten, but culture that is not communicated will stay alive. We can use social media, storytelling, creativity, even this speech competitions to make our culture interesting and relevant. We can become storytellers, creators, or ambassadors of our own identity. Because when we explore cultural heritage through English, creativity, and communications, we are not just protecting our identity, we are preserving our history. English allows allows us to share our stories with the world. It helps us to explain meaning behind our traditions. Because when people understand, they start to care. And when people care, culture survives. So, as a young people, as students, we have a role. We can create content, we can tell stories, we can speak for our culture. So let us use English not just to speak, but to represent who we are. Because when we give our culture a voice, we make sure it will never be forgotten. With thousands of cultural heritages, we are one of the richest nations in culture. But richness means nothing if it's not shared. And in a global world, silence means invisibility. That's why English matters. English gives us power, power to share, power to connect, and power to be seen. Through English, we can bring Indonesia to the global stage. We are not just learners of language, we are carriers of identity. So, do not just speak English, use it. Use it to tell your culture, use it to represent your people, use it to protect your heritage, because the future of culture is not in museums, it's in us. And if we choose to speak, our culture will live forever. English as a canvas, not barrier. Some might ask, why English? Isn't English the language of globalizations that often overshadows local tongues? This is a valid concern, but I invite you to shift your perspective. Think of English not as replacement of our native languages, but as global canvas. English is the lingua franca in 21st century. When we use English to talk about our heritage, we are not abandoning our roots, we are giving them a megaphone. Communications tells the world that our heritage exists, but creativity makes the world care. Conclusion, let us remember that our cultural heritage is a gift from the past, but its survival is a responsibility of the present. By using English as a tool of creativity and communications, we are not losing ourselves. We are finding a way to make our voice heard in the grand symphony of humanity. Let us speak, let us write, let us create, let us show the past, but light for the future. Thank you very much.